Welcome everybody. On tonight's show we have John, who is the director of the Bendigo Pride Festival. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
If you would like to tell us a little bit about the history and how you got involved in Bendigo Pride.
Sure. So Bendigo Pride Festival itself has a very short history. It's only 2019 that the first one was held. It does, however, come out that there's been a very long tradition of queer art in Bendigo. So the Bendigo Queer Film Festival started 18 years ago, and the Queer Country Art Exhibition's been going for about 10 now. And so Martin Gladman was the one who did the original 2019 Pride. He set it in motion with a sort of boutique little selection of events. He was too busy, so I sort of took over for 2020, which then spiraled out of control. So we had, I think, 45 events across the 3 weeks.
Wow, that's amazing.
Some really exciting stuff was happening. And then, of course, COVID came, and we shut the festival down 4 days before it started.
That must have been really difficult. What was that like as an organiser, to have so much work put into it, to have to say, sorry people, we need to stop?
Yeah, well, look, it was grim, and in particular too, because obviously it's a volunteer-run organisation. There's a fantastic committee who's been working all year. On the Friday before it was due to start, we thought, no, things are okay, we can carry on. Melbourne Queer Film Festival still running this weekend. We're all good. We might have to remove a couple of events, but we're good. That weekend, Melbourne Queer Film Festival shut down immediately, halfway through a day, I think. And then by Monday, it was clear that there was no way we could go ahead with the festival. One of the weirdest things is to cancel a festival takes almost as much time as organising one. So you've got to contact everybody. And then we had things like the rainbow flags went up in the Hargreaves Mall, to an empty mall. You can see our flags. And things like the thank you cards arrived at my house, and all this sort of stuff happened.
So then it must have been quite heartbreaking.
It was just the sadness that we felt so close to something really interesting and special. But of course, as people have pointed out too, all that organisation, it doesn't go away. You've met the people, you've made the contacts, you've set something in motion. And we were still up in the air about doing this year's festival. And obviously there was that question mark of can we, and what can we do, and should we? So we put a Facebook post that said, these are the dates. These are the dates we were planning to do. And I immediately got contacted by the ABC and the Bendigo Advertiser wanting to do a story, because people want something. People are desperate for some sort of real life connection. For the
LGBTI community, that's such a great statement to say, we are getting behind this festival.
Yeah. Also, the Department of Premier and Cabinet has funded at least 4 projects across Bendigo that are virtual or semi-virtual for this event. So we're going to have real life connection events again, and we're going to have the virtual. So we can do both as part of the festival. One of the big things about Bendigo Pride Festival is pride in Bendigo as much as it is pride in our own community.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to involve the mine, I wanted to have the gallery, I wanted to have the library, I wanted to have all the things that I think of as being sort of quintessentially Bendigo. And so that's really exciting that all those people are on board. It's not just our community that wants this, it's everyone wants this and wants to be part of it.
That's fantastic. I didn't realise that was part of the intention behind it as well.
I feel it's part of our responsibility to take over the town and assert our presence. It's I don't want us to be siloed off. I want us to go, look, we have always been here. Like we were talking off camera about Edward de Lacy, 1880s trans man who lived in Bendigo, our first celebrity trans man. We have all these artists like Agnes Goodser in the 1920s, lesbian artists who came out of Bendigo. There was a Bendigo organisation in the 1980s that was printing their own newsletters, and a lot of that we're going to have on display at the library. There'll be a historical exhibition upstairs in the library, and a queer Lego display downstairs in the library. So, and that's what I want. I want us to work with as many other groups and people as we can in Bendigo. Also, we're a small town, so allies are part of our team.
We are part of the community. We are the community.
And that's what I want. I want us to be able to embrace history and go, no, we're part of this. We've always been here. I don't want us to be the children's table. I want us to go, no, we're at the table. We've always been at the table.
And there's room for others. Come join us.
And there's room for others, and that's the thing too. So it's not about exclusion. None of it's going to be about exclusion. And it's that way of trying to find those ways of working. So we're going to do the Mind Tour again, hopefully with Deborah Triangle, our infamous drag queen. For those who are unaware, Deborah lives beneath Bendigo. And once a year she awakens from her slumber. She rises to the surface to welcome everyone to Queer Bendigo and spends 3 weeks with us before descending again for the next year. So hopefully she'll be running the Mind Tour again this year.
She dusts off pretty well.
She does. She's very shiny. She only has gold to make clothes from, so there is a bit of a kind of, there's a theme for her appearance. Yeah.
With our current situation, what kind of things can we see upcoming with this Pride?
So there's a lot of visual art, as there always is. Transmansplaining will be performed again, which if you haven't seen, you must. It's a one-man show. It's about his celebration of his life. Bendigo Short Film Festival started a competition last year, and of course no one got to see those amazing short films, so they'll be playing both the 2020 and the 2021 programs as a sort of mini BQFF this year. What else we got? Got theatre. There's hopefully a thing called Q Plus coming, which is an amazing installation. I'm trying to think. There's a dog show being confirmed, I believe, just today. So this is the weird thing too. We're running a festival that feels to me horrifically late because we didn't want to confirm anything until we knew we could run it. Because there is that sense of everyone not quite knowing. It's like, what are the rules? How many people can we have? The capacity for some of our venues keeps changing. So a lot of visual art, music. There's an opening weekend party. There's a bunch of stuff. There's going to be a lot, and there's something for everyone, I hope.
It sounds good. I'm there for the party.
yes, well, it'll probably be a master ball, quite literally. So we'll ask everyone to keep their mask on for when not drinking. Yeah.
Thankfully, COVID restrictions have reduced a little bit, and so we can have a lot of these events. But are there things that people need to be prepared for? So around masks?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, we're using lots of different venues. They all have different rules, but there will be things like in certain venues you, I think, have to wear a mask when you're walking around, or if you're not drinking. There's going to be things like capacities have been limited, so the engine room, I believe, will be 50, so you can definitely leave spaces. We will be asking people to basically keep socially distanced. We're going to have a COVID plan in place. Bring a mask with you. I think even if there are any, we're still discussing whether or not we might even ask people to mask, even if it's beyond the the requirements, but just
follow the instructions.
Follow the instructions, and basically someone will give you the instructions at every event.
Now it sounds like there's a lot of organising to happen behind the scenes. Do you have a bit of a team? Is there a crew that?
There's been a great committee. I mean, obviously for years. It started off Bendigo Queer Film Festival. Obviously has been running. There's a lot of experience in there. Also, being Bendigo, though, people often leave to go back to Melbourne, or so there's always a bit of a turnover. But we had this great team because of the COVID year. We used to meet every fortnight, and there's been quite a gap. So there is a bit of catch up going on.
And it's so great to have volunteer community members putting all this together for the community.
Yeah, it is absolutely. It's buy-in for the community. The dream is we build this into quite a sizable tourism and arts event. Bendigo's very good at those, and I think this has a great space to fit there. But let's just get through 2021. Let's just see if we can make this actually happen this year. And certainly I think it's that whole thing about community for me. It's the whole thing about you celebrate and its visibility and its community, and that's, I think, exactly what Pride's about.
And it's so valuable in the community. So did we talk about when it's actually on?
No, I don't think we did.
When can people expect the Bendigo Pride Festival?
So Friday the 12th of March to Sunday the 28th of March. It's effectively 3 weekends, but there are other events dotted through the weeks as well. There's a spoken word event on one of the Thursdays. But we try and sort of build each weekend as being a bit of a destination experience in itself. The full program we're not expecting to be out until probably mid-February, but you can find our website, which I can't remember off the top of my head. So it's, I think, bendigopridefestival.com. Could be .com.au. It's on Google. There's only one of them. I mean, it's not like you go, oh, I found the Bendigo Pride Festival in Iceland. It's this. You know how to use Google. You know.
So anyone in our local community, how can they get involved in Bendigo Pride?
Well, there's a whole bunch of ways. We're always up for offers of volunteers. If you want to come and help us on things. You can contact us through our Facebook page or through the website or through Bendigo Queer Film Festival website. There is a particularly interesting project happening at the library called the Allied Forum, and it's looking for queer youth And it's going to be a series of workshops, and then from that there's a sort of dramaturg and pulling out some bits and pieces, helping to shape them. It could be monologues, could be dialogue, could be animation, to produce some short films effectively. It's like a web series. So check the Goldfields Library for that.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
Because it's a great project.
Yeah.
It's a very exciting project.
Youth is aged between...
I think it's under 25, but again, the details are there. I know out there on the Goldfields Library site for that. And that was, again, another fund from the Department of Premier Cabinet. So it's going to be really exciting because it's about identity and experience, and I can't wait to see.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, John, for coming on to our show. We would like to thank you with a little chocolate gift.
I am so excited.
Yes.
Merch. Look, actual merch. That is so cool.
And we're looking forward to seeing you all at Bendigo Pride Festival.
Yes.
Yes, can't wait.